Hello all, it's so good to see you again. It's been so long. We might or might have not met yet. My name is Nyamal Malwarut. I'm the girl that's usually behind the camera, and quite honestly, I got really comfortable being behind the camera. I'm a photographer and videographer among the South Sudanese, especially Nuer events. So you can see my page. I have a ton of videos that I capture. I found so much joy in that. But today I wanted to talk to you all and just share my opinion or talk to some youngsters about something that's been so heavy in my heart. As I mentioned, right? I've been very comfortable behind the camera. There's so many important topics that are so dear to my heart that I really want to speak on today. So I took the time out of my day and want to share that with you today. So thank you for tuning in if you are new, or thank you for tuning in if you have been a consistent followers. I really appreciate you. So I hope you find this video educational and somewhat empowering to you as a person in the diaspora. So I am here today to talk to you about a very important topic, a topic that is evolving so much, okay? And what I'm here to talk to you today about is marriage. You guessed it. Oh my goodness. Marriage in the South Sudanese community, in the Nuer community, that's what I want to talk to you about. There's a lot of changes going on and I want to unpack them a little bit, especially for the younger generation. If I wanted to talk so much about the older generation, I would probably do this video in Nuer. But because some of the things I want to call out, some of the misconceptions that are happening, I see it a lot among the younger people. So I'm going to do this video in English. I might be using Nueri term because some of them are just like, I'm not going to translate that perfectly on the spot, or I don't know the term for it, right? So I might go back and forth a lot. If you're non-Nuer speaking, bear with me. It should still make sense, okay? I will actually unpack and talk about the process of a Nuer wedding, okay? I'm gonna try my best, okay? I only kind of pick up this as I'm raised in the Nuer household, right? Like I did not attend, an event where they are conducting it, but I know enough to know what to say and what not to say, or how to interpret something and how not to interpret it. So I really want to be a guide, if I may, and hopefully you will leave whole and you will leave empowered, or you will leave challenged on the thoughts that you are thinking about our culture and what we are putting out there, as just part of a citizen in the Nuer society. I care about what content is out there. I can't control it, but I do care, I'm in the storytelling world. So whether I do it through my camera, as behind the camera, or I'm in the front of the camera, or through writing, like I want to share my perspective and put it out there. I invite you to come on a journey with me. So let's talk about it, because we know that culture is always changing, and some changes are really good, like some changes are so necessary that we should grab them and we should welcome good changes. Every society in the world has their own way of conducting wedding. For example, people have their own way of conducting weddings in the Western world, which is mainly influenced, at least for US, is influenced by the UK, so people to conduct their weddings a certain way there. That wedding might look different than a wedding in Germany. That wedding in Germany might look different than a wedding in the Middle East, somewhere like in Afghanistan or in India, or in Korea. Like we all have our way of conducting weddings, okay? Even though we might be becoming very global citizens, in the most recent years, but there's always a way. There's always a way that people acknowledge wedding, or they have come to agreement that these people are now one, or they are in union. Okay, so that's just a common practice among many societies in the past and even to today. So I want to talk about the Nuer wedding, okay? Because there has been a lot of misinformation going around, and then there also has been some very problematic practices that are going into, what gobs us, or what gobs a wedding, okay? So I'm going to define those later on. The very first part, I would call this part 1. It would be you court someone, or you maybe even have a boyfriend, right? Like, of course, I don't know who those Christians that would tell you they don't have good kid, norm and stuff like that. They do. Listen to the party. Come on now. Like, they have boyfriends. Like, they date, like, what I have understand is like your cousins or this subs clan would go, and then they choose, actually the girls even choose, or like they have pursuers coming from another sub clans of guys, and then you can say, oh, gora be kwigwa me kia gora wutchenga kia because whatever sub clans it is, okay? But they do. You can court, okay? And then if that man has the resources and is ready for marriage, right? And you guys are in love, or you agree that, yes, you want to marry each other. Now you're going to approach marriage. He's ready to be married. You are ready to be married. You made that agreement. You court, okay? So, tika good, go to that basically, is what I'm saying. So, but when he's coming, what would happen is he would approach his elders, like his uncles, his dad, and anyone that's kind of like in authority, right? So he will approach them, they're like, oh, good, and then you come, and then they come, and then you go and tell your, whether your mom or your uncles, you tell them that, like, oh, I have someone who's interested in me, and they can share their opinion on, like, yes, it's a go, they're a great family, they look into that, oh, okay, but is there a possibility of relations, like that would prevent you guys being together and stuff like that? Do they have enough cattle? That's also something to consider, right? When you are getting married. So then that takes place, and if everything, let's say everything checked, you're good to go. The very first thing actually is baranye balat, right? So the guys come talk to your sisters and your cousins. They bring gifts. Today it's money. I don't know what kind of gifts they used to bring back in the day, but Ranyet is like the next step after you are in agreement that you want to marry this individual. Then Baranyet Balat. So then they come, the guy and the groom and his men comes to you, to your sisters in your household, and bring gifts. So back in the day, if someone has knowledge on what they used to bring for a union, feel free. This is called Girls Talk, by the way. Feel free to share. I honestly don't know because I didn't witness it. I kind of grew up in the Western world, but I know nowadays you negotiate money. So you're like, my sister's getting married, I'm about to get my cut, okay? Like, you go in. Pretty much, like, it's really actually kind of fun because you can be a little bit reckless, like Nuer culture is very like supposed to because nowadays people are loose, okay? But back in the day it's kind of like very reserved, conservative. But you can be loose at Ranya, you can be loose at like Banung, which is like later on in the process, right? You could be loose there, but not any other time. So you gotta be like, oh, a woman, Anyways, I'm having too much fun with this topic. But that's the first step. So after the Ranya is done, and then right? So now you have accepted their proposal. So you would actually, this would be like the real propose. Like now the man has proposed. You don't propose in private or by yourself or just with few friends. You propose in front of the whole community, okay? So Ranye is like a proposal. Then the next step is then your in-laws can now come and approach your family, like your uncles and your dad and all that stuff. And then this is important because this is what they're gonna go over, like your mom's side of the family, your dad's side of the family, of course your grandma on both sides, both your mom and your dad. And then if those check like it's not too close of in lineage, then it's a green light. Like any conflict that has happened, because if someone in your family in your household kills someone that's want to marry you, they call it Tayan Gamar. Pretty much like you guys are related by bone. That just sounds off, but it's called Mar Chaka, you know, so they look at like Tayan Gamar Chaka Yanaramanit, that would prevent you from marrying, you know. But yeah, so they look at that too as well, because that could be like that is just, it's I don't know, it's especially Misha Rancha Chul, where like they killed a cow to, you know, bring peace and all that stuff. It's a whole ritual that I don't want to get into because it's going to take away from the topic. But the important part is they also look at Mashaka, because that would cause you guys some issues in the future, okay? That's important, and they look at that. Honestly, I would love to be involved at someone's wedding. If y'all could invite me, go and let often, okay? Because I really want to see how it's playing out nowadays, okay? I feel like all the knowledge I have, I just pick up little by little everywhere, okay? So it's not like I have experience, I really have been an anthropologist of this topic. No, I have not. But I know enough to correct something, okay? So that's literally all I'm coming with. So next time, whoever's getting married, invite me. I might just as well, but young or something. Anyways, this topic is great. But back to the topic, I keep getting off topic. But then they will, like your family will propose that we want this amount for our daughter, A, B, and C, you know? Okay, let's say that thing's checked. So then, both sides of the family has agreed on how much cattle the groom and his family will pay. This was 15 years ago, and they have settled at 30 cows. So now that they settle at 30 cattle, do the groom has to pay all 30 cattle immediately? No, you don't. You don't, because what I have understand so far is that even though you pay cattle, it's just an exchange for mod, okay? Like my brother, I don't know, he has a lot of influence over how I view the world as a Nuer person, okay? So he always say, it's actually kind of an insult too in a way. He would be like, salary that did a you know, basically. Kakanamar is a term he would use often, you know? And I was like, what does that mean, kakanamar? So, but it's just pretty much saying that like you buy relations, you know? Like we're now gonna become that part of the family, so we're gonna be family forever. So it's not so much of how much someone wants to pay, but so much of like what kind of family are you entering in, if that makes sense. So from my understanding, because my dad, he did well too for himself. He was a chief and all that good stuff. But so we never really, at least the younger girls, never really was pressured to be married. If anything, we're just, go to school. Yeah, don't gotta. I understand not everyone is so privileged, especially in Africa, because other situations will arise where they misuse this beautiful process, you know, or like of how a union is recognized. But with my experience, I tend to have a little bit of positivities of like, you can choose your own mate, even if one family member don't like it, you will find another family member that will agree, and that family member can take a seat. Basically, that happens in Nuer culture. It's not just like, boom, you're in exile, you're exiled from the family, this and this and this. Like, no, but that one person, you will have some hard time with them. And if it's your dad, oh goodness, I hope it's not your dad, because it's gonna be a rocky relationship, right, for you. But overall, like, it's been in existence for a generation where Nuer lakan chow gurkan lakan ate. Okay, like chajida would forever. To be honest with you, like, that's a lie. If you really don't want it, you can run away. Like, and that's a fact. Okay, it has happened with our mother's generation, probably before them as well. It's happening now. It's happening with the older generations, you know. So it's there. So after cha bulatot chatui, okay, bulatot batui. So that's like this engagement party. So it would be like an engagement party, but bulatot. So pretty much they come, they celebrate. It's not the big party yet, okay? So somewhat small. So, but that's like confirmed you're getting married, okay? And then buladid bapot. So buladid is like, that's when everyone comes with their kwa. That's they come and stay at your house for weeks, you know, days at the very least. So that's like the real celebration that linger on. That's buladid, okay? Then you're completely married. So then after chibulto, or when the wedding is done, the big wedding is done, and then your sisters that did the ranyer in the beginning, because notice that it's open with the girls, like it was the girls with the girls talked, and then after that it's your sister that takes you to your in-laws now. So they return the favor after your in-laws stay for weeks or many days. They return the favor, and then they go, and then your sisters, they go and take you to your in-laws family, okay? This is called no. Because of Christianity, they literally minimize it, like it's almost like non-existing in Nuer culture now, okay? Like, because if you hear their songs too, they're so wild. I mean, like, okay, I had to admit, I went to one time, half partial, because to Guarapin, and we go to Nani, and we go to Nani. You're so young, or something like that. And I was like, I just want the experience. And then actually, I guess I would say two. I went when I was so young, so young. My cousin named Nyalet, she just got married. And then I just remember they were literally carrying me on their necks because I was so young. This is like, I would have been like 7, no, maybe 9, 8 or 9. 8 or 9 for sure. I went to Nirelapa, okay? And it wasn't a lot of experience for me because I was chilling. I was a kiddo. I was very young. But I know that part is the completion of the wedding, okay? Like, the girls are so loose. You would think they're loose in the beginning. No, they are really loose then. Like, they sing inappropriate songs. They sing whatever they want. They cuss at the men, which is like unheard of, right? In Nuer culture anyways. So they just say whatever. Like, they have every right to be disrespectful for just that short amount of time. It's called new. They took it out a little bit more now because of Christianity and I don't know, whatever reason. But it's not really practiced. You can't really find it anywhere. We definitely don't practice it in the Western world, let alone the Western world. We don't even practice it in Ethiopia like that, let alone the diaspora, right? But that's like the completion of the wedding. That's if everything played in your favor, you love the man you're marrying, all the stuff. But the real drama, it starts when you don't want to marry the man, right? So if you don't want to marry the man, honestly, Nuer have several ways of recognizing marriage, right? So the first one is, the right way of getting married, like you bring your husband, all that good stuff. Oh my goodness, everything play in your favor, okay? Getting married is a tragedy. It's hard in every culture, but Nuer just take it a bit notch, okay? Like, literally, it's up there. But, so when things don't go well for you, here's the other options that many people do, okay? The second option I would say is, okay? You can run away. Actually, you run away with your lover, you just don't run away. As I mentioned, if you don't want to marry this Guangdong, right? And you're like, your reason is not even justified, like, taco good. Pretty much I have a boyfriend and you can elope with them. You can pretty much run away, go to their family house, and then your family will just be like, oh, jangan, okay? It happens. This is not stolen. You don't steal someone. Like here's a person that steal, like if Jabba comes, okay, sorry, Malay is like one of the enemy, especially of law, okay? If they come and take women and kids, okay? That's like you are taken in captive now, okay? That's an example of like Rami Jakwan. So just because you ran away with your lover or your boyfriend, maybe you were not even intimate with them, but because you don't want to get married, it's the next choice you have, sis. Like, bye. Like, I'm not marrying this Wendong, or I'm not marrying this ridiculous person. He's, whatever your reason may be, he's a Guangdong, he's not attractive, he's a whatever your reason is. If you don't want to marry them, you can elope, okay? And that is recognized. So therefore, you're now automatically become a wife. But because of that, it's like an insult because they didn't come the right way, right? So now your brother's gonna lose it a little bit, like, oh my goodness, like drama now, okay? The drama has begun. The drama has begun now. Like, oh my goodness, like, so pretty much they would go and like, if they find, especially Ramakwalji, they will physically harm him, okay? And he's not allowed to defend himself. Clearly, because he's at the wrong at this point, right? It's like a norm. Hopefully, I am not supporting violence at all, okay? Not supporting it at all. But it happens, and that's another way of you getting married, okay? The third way to get married is you can get pregnant. Yes. Then you can pick yourself before you are showing and go to your in-laws, okay? Because if you are recognized, especially by the men, the women always recognize you before the men, obviously. But usually your mom will be like, I'm ready or something, and then be like, you gotta go, So then the same kind of practice exists, where like both Ramichakwal and Ramicharwit, right? They can go and take cattle by force because pretty much you skip the whole process now. Like all that stuff, you skip them. But because of that, then your family feel like entitled to whatever they need to get, which is their cattle. And then they would go and take whatever cattle they have by force, okay? Then after they take those, I think they talk about mar at some point. I'm not sure what point, I'm not sure when exactly, but at some point they talk about mar, which is relations or genealogy. And then after that, they talk about how much more cattle the men still need to pay regardless of what they have taken. Okay, that's what I know to be the process. So you have those options, okay? Because we are moving in a new era, or even before, I've seen countless women sacrificing themselves, right? So because when a girl get married, especially back in the day, that's when their brother can get married, right? So they would have like cattle now for the brother to get married to, or like the husband or the father might get a second wife too, okay? So cattle is associated with wealth, okay? Like wealth, pretty much back in the day. Now people have their own income, right? Like we don't really use cattle as much, but that's where that's kind of like the foundation. That's what you pay for bride price. So then and now, I do want to highlight that there are some families that would force their daughters to marry, you know, so they would have resources, okay? Not all family. If they know this particular man is so wealthy and is gonna bring wealth home, then they might force their daughter to marry someone. So it could be someone older, but again, that daughter is also entitled to the steps I have listed out, okay? Like the writ, whatever. She can do those stuff, you know? And pretty much it's gonna break off the engagement or the marriage. Or she could sacrifice herself and be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get married to this person even though there's no physical affection, there's no attraction going on, all that stuff. He's not really the best looking or whatever may be the case, you know. They're gonna be like, you know, I want a good relationship with my family. I want my family to be better off. I know my family love me. So they wouldn't put me in somewhere bad. Like even I heard a sentence in that, you know, like on one of the videos I was videotaping. One of the ladies was getting married to their now husband, and she was like, my family loves me so much, I knew that they would not choose someone bad for me. And what a girl. Good for you, girl. Like, thumb up, okay? Like, if that's your experience and you had a good experience with that man, that's wonderful. But unfortunately, that's not everyone's experience, and I acknowledge that. But overall, the freedom to choose is there. Even though it might be limited or it might be harder, it's definitely there, okay? Like, I want to highlight that because I feel like some people talk like these options are not there, but clearly they are there, you know? They have done it for generations. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, like especially back in the day, it's a boar, but it happens. It happens, okay? So I want to highlight that. So now, my now problem. So I think I highlight that when someone is getting married, it's mainly because you're interested in that family, you're interested in becoming family with them. You're now gonna bear children with this person, right? So, you know, naru or chianaru are very important. Like, you know, your maternal family. Your maternal family is very, very important, you know, like it has such an important role in your life. So they will always be connected back to their mom, okay? So I just want to highlight those, and I feel like I have finally explained to the best of my ability, okay? I have explained what it means to be married in the Nuer society. Those 3 options are there. Feel free to comment, feel free to share your thoughts. I would like all positive, but really, we know that's not realistic. Nowadays with social media. So, but you are entitled to your opinion 100%. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for coming to my channel. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Share your thoughts, especially you older people help us out, help us understand how things are actually conducted, okay? Like right now I'm just picking up because I was raised in a Nuer household. That's literally the best I can come up for. And plus, like, I love culture, I love anthropology, I love storytelling. So I care deeply about anything that's involved Nuer, okay? Or people in general. But overall, thank you so much for watching. My name is Nyamal. Please follow me. Follow me on all platforms if you will. Follow me here. Thank you for watching once again. And I hope to see you soon.